And welcome again, dear friends, now to the Friday edition of Fresh Bread. Well, here we are. We've made it clear to Friday. It is August 27th, 2021, and we are at the end of the work week. I hope you've had a great first few days of this week. Now we're getting ready for the weekend, and again, I'm going to be on vacation this week, so when you're hearing this, I have already recorded these a few days ahead of time, and I will be away for the remainder of this weekend. Through the weekend, we'll have a guest speaker at the churches on Sunday, August the 29th, and then I'll be back on Monday the 30th, and we'll be here for again another 2 or 3 weeks, and then another week off. So I'll have all my vacation days scheduled for the last year. I'll have them all taken care of, but there's 2 weeks I could carry over, and so I have carried those 2 weeks over. So one will be this week that you're hearing this in right now, and the other will be in the middle part of September. So I just like to keep you posted on what's going on with me. And again, it's a blessing to be able to serve both of these two churches, Kansas Avenue and Oakland United Methodist Church here in Topeka. And again, we were talking the other day just about some of the great things I believe God has in store for these churches. I was talking to a member on the phone yesterday when I was out taking a walk. She says, "Oh, you're out taking a walk?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's when I do a lot of my phone calls to church members, because that way I maximize my time." A lot of times I'll maybe listen to minister on the radio through my headphones as I'm walking, or I may just listen to what God has to tell me. It just kind of depends on the moment. So it's no real set order that I do these things, but I do try to allow for those times to talk to people when I'm actually doing other things. I just don't have a whole lot of time with my schedule the way it is to just sit and visit with people the way I'd really like to. Now, if I set aside that time, God willing, which we hopefully will be able to do before long, then I'll be able to sit down across the table from you, like we were saying the other day, maybe at Bradley's or Golden Corral or McDonald's or Burger King or somewhere that we can just kind of get a little space off to ourselves and just have those conversations. And so I am looking forward to that. You know, I don't know if I mentioned this the other day, but it's so important that everybody in the church realizes that he or she is a minister. That if you are a Christian, if you have been making that decision to follow Christ, and that's been your goal, that you have made that conscious choice, now you are going to follow Jesus Christ. You meant that when you received him as your Lord and Savior. It's not just about coming up and getting a little water sprinkled on your head and saying you've been baptized and that's good to go. Now you come to church on Sundays and you've really done all you're going to do. We now want to move up to the next level, which is what's God got in store for you and what's God got in store for me. And we want to start serving God in real practical ways that I believe are going to help present this message of Jesus Christ to the world. You know, we need to be bringing new people into the church. Quite honestly, if we don't, the church is going to die. There's no other way around it. If we don't bring new people into the church, either through family, friends, relatives, neighbors, co-workers, or just people in the neighborhood that we've gone out and gotten to know through relationships, if we don't start bringing new people into these two churches, just like any church, they're not going to be around forever. I don't care if the church has 2,000 people in it. If they don't bring new people in, those churches too will eventually wither up and they will die. It's just the reality. We have to continue to bring people in. I think for a lot of churches, that just was never a big emphasis. And now we're kind of seeing the results, that the churches are down just to a handful of people. Whereas before, you look at the pictures that were taken a number of years ago, there'd be 200-300 kids in Sunday school. And now we have maybe 2 or 3 kids come to church in a month, let alone 200 or 300 every week. So I realize times have changed. We have to change with the times. The message that we give does not change. It's the methodology that we use needs to change. But we want to just encourage people to get to know Jesus Christ as their personal Lord and Savior. That part has never changed. We were talking the other day about Galatians and how it really emphasizes how we want to live by grace and not by the law. I want to read a little bit more here today from Galatians 3, again from the Message. It says, "The obvious impossibility of carrying out such a moral program, such as the law, I will add in my words, make it plain that no one can sustain a relationship with God that way." You understand what he's saying there? We can't be in relationship with God through the law. The law was designed to show us where we need to improve our lives, and we knew that we couldn't improve them on our own because we just kept sinning. That's really the problem that we had now, that we were coming short of God's standard. So now we need the Savior, Jesus Christ. And that's what all of the scriptures in the Old Testament and in the New Testament are pointing to, is Jesus Christ as our personal Lord and Savior. Through him, we will have a relationship with God. And that's what God intended us to have from the very beginning. Well, friends, I'm going to be back with you again tomorrow for our weekend edition of Fresh Bread. Until then, may God richly bless you is my prayer. Have a great Friday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.